feel like we need to say that before we discuss anything further. Have I spearheaded several of those discussions? Yes, I have. The reality, though, is for this season in particular, Jonathan Isaac was not a factor. Can't say health, but give me the other key to the success for this team over the last 2 months.
You are the Russell Westbrook of reporters, by the way.
What, I take bad shots? Break it down on three. Cancun on three. 1, 2, 3. Cancun! And with that, we say happy exit interview Monday, everyone. Really tired of doing this mid-April. Definitely should be at a different time next year. We're going to touch on that later in this show. For right here, right now, it is old habit yet again for this club. Season's over for the Magic. They have now entered into vacation mode. Can tell you where they're not going. Trip to Tankville. Done with that lifestyle for the here and now. Hopefully. Look, when you win 22 games the previous year, you really have two choices. You can stay bad or level up. Went option B, Jamal Mosley's favorite word this season. Natural selection, not easy. 25 games in, this was a 5-20 ball club. They were the worst team in the NBA. They had lost 9 straight and just got absolutely wrecked by injuries in the backcourt. They said it today, like we didn't have a point guard for the first 6 weeks of the season. At that point, they could have tanked. We wouldn't have liked it, but we would have understood why. But guess what? They didn't. They went 29-28 the rest of the way, gave themselves a legitimate postseason shot. They were in contention until the last week of the regular season. What aids that? Well, that's coaching, young talent getting developed, and that's cohesion from the front office all the way down. Took a small step, but it was certainly one that was significant.
This group knows how good they can be, and sometimes, we've basically told on ourselves in a lot of ways what we're capable of doing. The teams that we've beaten, the games that we've been in, the lessons we've learned from those close games. I think it says so much about a young group that is ready to mature. I think the experiences that we've been through, you have to go through them in order to get to another level. And this group has taken that, and knowing the belief system and the work ethic and how hard it really is to be successful in this league.
So opening night, we all understood, was mid-October, but this season for them really started December 7th. After that 25-game just nightmare to begin the year, they did have the worst record in the NBA. All of a sudden, got a little bit healthier, chemistry started bond, and they got better in crunch time. Look at the numbers here from December 7th on. The defensive efficiency sticks out. It's what makes Jamal Mosley happy. They were top 6 in that category from that December 7th mark on. Remember, they have not finished inside the top 10 in that category since Dwight Howard left. That's a name for everyone. How about you give me a word? The one magic one you would use to describe this season. That is our question tonight. Really a fill in the blank over on my Twitter page at LH Sports TV. Let me know. We've got a few more minutes. We're going to discuss coming up momentarily in Walk-Off. Remember when people said, hey, we should draft Jamari Smith #1 overall? By people, I mean me. Hey, I am secure enough to admit my faults. I'm not perfect. Paolo Banchero, too good to secure Rookie of the Year. Unanimously? No, he might actually do that as well. Body of work speaks loudly. This dude is built like a problem, performed like a #1 pick, and really a borderline all-star in year 1. 40 20-point games this year. That's the same number as LeBron did in his first year in the NBA. That's 13 more than any other Rook had. They have the centerpiece for their franchise. Should get the hardware as we all expect, and when he does, it will certainly be meaningful.
It's been something I've wanted to do for a while. Worked really hard for it, and just wanted to come out this year and be the best rookie, but also help my team win it and have a good effect on my team in terms of wins and just overall success. So hopefully I'm able to win, and if I am, it'll be a blessing.
I can tell you are, because right now it's not a blessing, it's a runaway. Because most sports books are like done taking bets. It's a wrap. This is the latest odds from DraftKings of last week. Banchero, minus 5,000 to bring it home. Now, we've heard the cases throughout the year for guys like Jalen Williams in Oklahoma City, Keegan Murray in Sacramento. They have had very good campaigns. Asked Paolo straight up why he deserves this award today. He just responded simply, I had the best rookie season. Odds are strong for that, and they're also just as strengthy for Jonathan Isaac that he's going to be ready for Game 1 next year, per him. Confirmed that to reporters at Exit Interview Monday. You hear something like that and it's cross your fingers. Since 2020, he's only played in 14 games. 11 of them were this year, and again, it was cut short due to a torn left adductor muscle. However, it is only a 6 to 8 week recovery. He's not at the full strength yet, but health-wise, he is in a much better spot this time around than he has been in years past.
It's really going to be the first summer, that I have, to fully work. Every other summer I've been rehabbing and trying to get back to the court, and so, I'll be, hopefully in the next few weeks be, full go and ready to just take on the summer with strengthening and doing everything I need to do to have a healthy next season.
Tell you what, right now he's going to have a big offseason in terms of rehab, development in his game, and guess what? He's about to be a daddy. He and his wife expecting their first child in the next few weeks. J.I., we say congrats on that and good luck with the rehab this summer. Let's now shift to the busiest man of Exit Interview Monday, Joel Glass, Chief Communications Officer. Although he declined to be on camera, and we understand why, your work does not go unnoticed. So instead, we focus on first runner-up, Jeff Waltman. This dude met with players and coaches from 10 a.m. to 5 for evals, off-season outlook, and maybe a little bit of honest conversation. It was emotional. It was taxing. Then when he was done with that, he came down and answered all of our pressing questions. The only thing predictable about the offseason is going to be the lottery, the draft, and free agency. They will happen. The rest is really all about who and what's going to be that first domino to fall. Magic right now going into this thing are in a good spot. Have 2 lottery picks, about $28 million in cap space to play with. It's everyone's favorite term when it comes to the offseason. Look, they have the flexibility. They can be aggressive if they want, but Jeff's going to tell you straight up, they have to be wise with what they do.
That's part of the uncertainty. What conversations with other teams are going to present themselves, what players are going to put themselves out there into the free agent market or the free agent trade market these days, as it were, and what does the draft look like? The fluidity, the flexibility is definitely, this is I would say the high water mark for us, but that doesn't mean that we want to just burn through it either, So that's part of like what we'll be discussing in our preparations.
We're going to get a much better idea of his plan, maybe by May 16th, which is the draft lottery. Remember, this team finished with the 6th worst record in the NBA, so that means they have the 6th best shot to land that number 1 overall pick. Did it last year. This is the year you really want it. We're going to touch more on that later on throughout the week. However, they still are enjoying the fruits of that Vucevic trade from a few years back. They will also get the Bulls' first-round pick. Last time they had 2 lottery selections, go back to 2021 when they landed Jalen Suggs and Franz Wagner, both inside the top 10. If you're going to do something, now's probably the time to get it done. I'm just saying I think it's too little too late. Assumptions don't exactly put tallies in the win or the loss column, now do they? Look, just saying. 27-40. They're 4 games back in the play-in with 17 to go. Now, if that wasn't enough, maybe this will do it. They're 0-3 on this current homestand. They're going to close it out against Miami, who has won 7 of 8 matchups between these two. And just for kicks and gigs, we're going to follow up all this fun stuff with a 4-game West Coast road swing. Doesn't really seem so promising now, does it? What? What's that? By God, it's Wendell's music! Big fella. Back after 3-game absence with that groin injury. I'll tell you what, he had a gut check performance in him tonight. 3-4 all over this one. Forcing the turnover in the first. We're outrunning Franz. Palo. Nice up and under. Magic up 10 after 1. Now let's go to the fourth quarter. They're up 5. Very scary moment here. Franz Wagner with the closeout on Tyler Hero, forcing the turnover. And you see him get rolled up. It's the ankle. Same one as last week. He would leave this game, did not return. X-rays were negative. More on this tomorrow. Magic still had this lead, and they could have closed it out, but they're kids, and they made it hard on themselves. 6-point game with a minute to go. Kyle Lowry. Now, all of a sudden, it's down to 3. So 5 seconds ago, still a 3-point game. Here's the situation. Do you foul? Or do you foul? Well, you should have, but Jimmy Butler gonna get a look. And of course it's going in. 3 of his game-high 38. That triple sends it to OT. Doesn't seem promising still, right? A reminder, the bell does not dismiss you. Wendell dismisses you. 34, giving you 42 minutes. Played the final 5 at his absolute best. Baseline jam, and then that's 3 in the corner. He had 27 and 11. Too little, too late. That's just a JoJo song. Magic snap a 3-game skid at the right time. They will begin that 4-game West Coast trip Tuesday against San Antonio. Very good time to remind everyone the price is always right, and it's never a wrong time to bring in our guy KP. Kobe Price covers the team for the Orlando Sentinel. No one does it better. Kind enough to spend a few minutes with us from this road trip. You were in attendance for what ends up being the largest comeback of the season, maybe a top 5 win in the Mosley era. What stood out to you?
There was a certain level of togetherness that they showed in that win, that comeback win over the 76ers. You know, being able to just ramp up the defensive intensity. And it was everybody, you know, especially the hustle that you saw from Jalen Suggs, you know, that you saw from Mo Wagner, being able to turn it up that quickly. And then it was in doses. It was, you know, Paolo and Franz in the second. You know, it was Paolo even more in the third, Mo Wagner in the fourth. And being able to do that all around the collective intensity that you brought on the other end, like that was really what stood out. And being able to show that consistently against one of the better teams in the league, that's impressive. And that's something that, you know, we've seen this over and over again with this team, just being able to show up against some of the best teams in the league.
Now, you say that, and we all understand it, but let's go back December 5th. This team was 5-20. They just lose to Milwaukee. Since that point, 15-11, top 10 record in the NBA. You can't say health, but give me the other key to the success for this team over the last 2 months.
Yeah, the obvious thing is health, right? Like you get Markelle Fultz and Cole Anthony back, you know, Wendell Carter Jr. and Gary Harris have come back, Jalen Suggs, Jonathan Isaac. Like that's the obvious thing. But I think taking a step further, what sometimes that's not discussed enough is the continuity. There's a greater understanding from player to player of what to expect from them each game, what they can expect, you know, going into each game, and just a better understanding of how to play alongside one another. Like Franz Wagner has a better understanding of how to play alongside Markelle Fultz than he did last season. Paolo has a better understanding of just how to play alongside Markelle, Cole, all these guys. You know, Gary Harris, it goes down the line. Like a lot of times last season, we didn't see them, you know, have the understanding. You know, Jalen Suggs and Cole Anthony have grown in their partnership in the backcourt, especially in the second unit. So we're seeing a little bit more guys just understand they're clicking more, their chemistry's higher, and they just understand the messaging from the coaching staff well. I think what you're seeing is just a better grasp of what's being asked of them from player to player, coaches to player, everything. And I think that shows in terms of how they're able to carry out a game plan on a night-to-night basis because they understand that game plan better. They understand what's being communicated to each other better. And that's just, you know, that's one of the biggest things for a young team, you know, role orientation and just an understanding of what's being asked.
12-16 so far this year against playoff teams from last season. That's going to be a featured matchup in 6 of their next 8 till we get to the All-Star break. They will continue this current 4-game roadie tomorrow with their final matchup of the regular season with Philly.
3, 2, 1, go.
Are you hungry? Have you eaten anything? I have a protein bar. I accidentally sat on it, so it's smushed, but if you would like it. It's a meal replacement. Chocolate chip cookie dough.
This is from the first episode of SpongeBob. SpongeBob is coming down the hill, and someone vandalized the Krusty Krab, and they put this on the window, and Squidward's like washing it off.
Really the whole summer to come up with really good nicknames for you.
Okay.
And I need your approval.
Okay. I got a couple nicknames
Go!
off the record, though. I can't.
Oh. What we think? Not for you. Das Hoop.
Das Hoop was alright.
What are they, like German curse words?
Not curse words, but let's just discuss that off camera.
You are the Russell Westbrook of reporters, by the way.
What, I take bad shots? We're gonna put that down. Joel's gonna kill me if I get stains all over the carpet. Who's the best character on the show?
What? Heisenberg. Not Walter White.
I'm not saying it is.
You gonna say Jesse?
No. Hank.
Horrible DEA agent.
When they hit you on a back door, I say they got fronds in low places.
I'm learning that you have a hard time following through on task.
Beyonce, Rihanna.
Beyonce. That's not a question for me. I'm a huge Beyonce fan.
A little more attention to detail, if you turn the ball over a little less, take the right shots, that's what leveling up means.
He totally did that on purpose. When you throw one down like you did over Cat last year, I just yell, bartender, dunk him.
I'm on a new level. Hey, this the theme song this year for sure.
Nah, I would say my spirit animal is a great white.
What video games did you play growing up?
I think I had Nintendo. I think I had Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
That makes sense. That's pretty on brand for you.
You're saying dunk, right?
Yeah, and it's like order a beer. Like Dunkel's a dark beer, correct?
Dunkel.
You're watching Sports Spectrum 360. Spectrum Sports on 360?
Oh, okay.
Spectrum 360 Sports. This is Terrence Rossi, the Orlando Magic, and you're watching Spectrum Sports 360. There we go.
See, this was the reason so many of us were against the tank in the first place, and really why there was so much optimism about this squad potentially being in the play-in. Not going to sit here and say we got to do a complete 180 on our vibe check. There's still work to do. They are 12 games under 500. Let's get that straight. Winning 3 in a row in the grand scheme of 82 is something small. For this team, at this time, it's something significant.
And Terrell with the shot clock at 2.
It's not just the fact that they've won 3 in a row, it's how they've gotten it done. Combination of a lot of things. The grit Jamal Mosley calls for. Look at this game, plus 14 on the glass against a very physical Toronto squad. Find some wood, knock on it. They're starting to get relatively healthy. The main takeaway, when they needed to, your 2 best players performed as such in Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner. Add it all up, and yeah, maybe something bigger is coming.
Well, you put 3 games in a row of it. I think that we're headed in the right direction.
We're getting there right now, man. I think 3 in a row is as good a sign as it gets. So, yes, I think we can keep this up. I pray everyone stays healthy and, keep this joint going.
I think we're figuring stuff out, especially these last couple games. But people are continuing to adjust to how we play and throw different stuff at us. So we gotta keep working.
Mo Bamba was asked post-game about the significance of this 3-game winning streak. He said it's now about doing what great teams tend to do in this situation, and that's carrying it over. We feel like we are more than capable of doing just that. At the Amway Center, Luke Hetrick, Spectrum Sports 360.
Eyes up, chest up. Eyes up, chest up. Good. Don't lose it. Don't lose it.
So there's the life you choose.
I don't like that left. Let me see it. Where we at with it? Where we at with it over there?
The one you're destined for.
Eyes. Walk. Right hand dribble, in and out, double cross.
Then for people like Randy Gregory.
Oh, finish it. Just love hoops, man. Just love hoops. That's what I grew up doing right here in the gym. Here you go, need one.
There's what's in your blood.
Oh, it's a crossover. Some people said they got introduced to the game. It was just like part of my life. Like, I was born, my dad coached college basketball, so all I knew was basketball. It wasn't even like a choice or an option. It was just part of the everyday lifestyle.
Was.
Need a mate.
And clearly still is.
Everybody got the little Euro step, huh?
From a coach's son to now an NBA assistant with the Orlando Magic.
Unimaginable. I couldn't have dreamed anything like this. It just sort of all played out. Only God could play something like this out. Look, and you smoked it. Last one.
This is his path.
Magic on 3. 1, 2, 3. Magic! It worked, man.
One he's proud of, one he's persevered.
It was like a special moment all the way around.
And one he's got plenty of pictures to show. Take this, for example, 2019 Kentucky men's basketball senior night. Randy's honored for his dedicated service as student manager with his family in attendance.
You can't put a price on something like that, you know what I mean? Like, it's just special, something you always remember.
Especially with the people he never forgets.
As I said at Kentucky, that's my mom.
And of course, his inspiration.
It's crazy, this is like the first year he got diagnosed. That was one of those moments where you just got full of fear because there was so much uncertainty of, okay, well, what's next?
In 2011, it was discovered that his father and longtime Baltimore area college basketball coach Randy Gregory II had ALS.
It took away, like, let's have fun. It took away from, like, let's do this, like, let's be a teenager. Like, that thought process went out the door. It was like, yo, you got to figure things out for your family, and you have to now become the man of the house.
Randy II retired in 2015 with over 200 career wins. Since then, the disease has left him wheelchair-bound, with very little motor function and the inability to speak on his own.
A soldier coming home, 20 years old, with no legs, saying there's no sense to cry and complain, just go ahead.
The line from the song Locomotive by Nas has become Randy II's mindset. Just like basketball, he's passed that on to his son.
Man, this is what it is. There's a lot worse things going on in the world. I still have my dad. I still have my mom. Like, life isn't as bad as we want to make it seem.
Chosen, destined, or born into.
It was just a life filled of basketball. Us together, us separate.
However you want to say it, this is Randy Gregory's path. Wherever it goes from here, he won't travel it alone.
None of this is possible without him, so I just would say thank you to him for showing me this beautiful game, and it's changed our lives forever.